So to review from last time, we were working on the OY grapheme. And by the way, I think I see a few new people here. Welcome. We're glad you're here. And everybody, if you have your video on, thank you. That really helps me to be able to see how you're doing, because I kind of read your mouths when you're reading. And if you have your video on, and if this was hard for you at the beginning, but it's easier now, would you just nod so everybody can see that, yeah, it's hard in the beginning, but it gets easier. So hang with us. Okay, so number one, just going over what you learned last time, is yiftoi. Yiftoi. Number two, yimproi. Yimproi. Number three, yitichoi. Yitichoi. Feel free to read these with me. Number four, I'm going to check the sound of that I. There's two consonants after it. So it's going to say I. This I also has two consonants after it. So it's going to say I also. So this word is strimpimdoi. Strimpimdoi. Try to say them with me if you want. So here is the word that I shouldn't have entered in there, but because we haven't learned Y in the middle yet. But Y in the middle acts like an I. That's what we're going to learn today. So if two consonants are after it, it's going to say I. So that word is prishtoi. Prishtoi. Number six, primpoi. Primpoi. And number seven, here's a medial Y again. It acts as if it were an I. Two consonants after it make it short. So plimoi. Plimoi. I'm seeing some nods. That's excellent. Number eight, thrimpoi. Thrimpoi. Number nine, checking the sound of those vowels. Two consonants makes that one short. This one, two consonants after it makes it short. So that word is yimplimtroi. Yimplimtroi. And number 10 is shoi. Shoi. Okay, moving on to today's lesson. Medial Y. That means Y in the middle. Whenever you see a word with Y in the middle, we borrowed it from the Greek language. The Greeks don't use an I in the middle of their words. They do use them on prefixes, but not in the middle. And we borrowed a lot of words from the Greek language. A lot of them have to do with science. So there are a lot of scientific words that have a Y in them, like psychology or a lot of the ologies. A lot of medical terms have Y's in the middle. Those are Greek words that we borrowed. So one other thing that I wanted to mention about Y in the middle. So it's going to act as an I would. It follows the same rules as I. You can just treat it like an I. If the next two letters are consonants, it's going to make its short sound. And if one of the next two letters is another vowel, then it's going to make its long sound, I. So you remember, unless you're new, then let me just tell you, Y is a vowel if it's not the first letter. So the only time Y is a consonant is if it's the first letter. And that's the only time it says Y. But the only time Y will say Y is if it's the very first letter, like yes and yellow. If Y comes anywhere else in the word, but that first spot, then it's going to be a vowel. And it will typically act like an I. Well, it will act like an I in the middle. If it's at the end, that follows a different rule, which you can watch the recording from last week to learn what it does at the end. Okay, so let's before we dive in and start reading, let's do some phonemic awareness warm-up. The most important thing we can do to increase our reading skills is to increase our listening skills, because we're attaching language, verbal language, to a written code. And the bridge between those two things is what we're hearing. So that's why this is so important. So we have some kind of doozies today. Oh, I hate it when I just make it so hard on you. Why was I in a difficult mood this day? Okay, so how many sounds are in umbrella? Stretch it out. Umbrella. There's several. Take your time and count. Put it in the chat. Okay. So umbrella has the following sounds. B, b, 7. B, 7 sounds in umbrella. Umbrella has 7 sounds in there. That was a doozy. That was a hard one. Don't worry if that one was a struggle, because that one was a hard one. If you ever wonder if you're spelling, if you ever wonder if there is an M or an N in a word like umbrella, because it's almost impossible to hear the difference when you're speaking it. If the next letter is a B or a P, then that's going to be an M. You can think of peanut butter. For M, P, and B. So as in umbrella, it's an M because that's a B after it. So it's not umbrella if you're spelling. It's umbrella. Peanut butter. That might be hard to remember now, but I'll mention it every so often, and then pretty soon you'll see it in print and you'll go, oh yeah, she was right. Okay, I'm going to give you an easy one first. What are the sounds in fog? How many sounds in fog? Put it in the chat. Yep. Good. Ben gave me two choices, like you pick. It's one of those. Yes, in the case of fog, you have the same amount of sounds as you do letters. So each letter has its own sound. Fog. Now, how many sounds in foggy? Don't pay any attention to the letters. Get the letters out of your brain. Only sounds. How many sounds in foggy? So this is kind of why I like to work with nonsense words, because sometimes when you know how to spell the word, it messes with your brain when it comes to phonemic awareness. And I'm kind of experimenting with the idea of making these different, not words that you would know how to spell. But for now, foggy has 4 sounds. A, G, E. 5 letters, 4 sounds. Those 2 G's will make 1 sound. So 4 sounds in foggy. A, G, E. How many sounds in Scotch? How many sounds in Scotch? Don't think about the letters. Just listen. Scotch. Arch. Right. 4 sounds in Scotch. Arch. Now, how many sounds in hopscotch? Beautiful. Hopscotch has 7 sounds. H, ah, p, s, ah, sh. It's okay, Trinity. Just do your best. S, h, ah. Let me start over on that one. Hopscotch. H, ah, s, ah, sh. 7 sounds. To practice those at home, just pick something up and count how many sounds in it. Make sure you stretch it out. Glasses. And just do this for every little thing. Phone, 3 sounds. 5 letters, 3 sounds. Photo. 5 letters, 4 sounds. This is, it's hard for me to overestimate how important that skill is and how much it improves your reading skill. Okay, let's hop on down to today's lesson. So we have our medial Y, which acts as an I in the middle of a word. Usually it's going to make the short sound because if you'll remember, I's in the middle make their short sound. So we're going to have lots of is today. So I'm going to work on my side. Feel free to join with me. And then I'll be quiet when it's your turn over here. So I'm going to mark my vowels first. Here's a vowel. Here's another vowel because it's not the first letter. Y is a vowel if it's not the first letter. So if you're new, here's a reading hack that we learned last time. Y at the end of a multi-syllable word usually makes the long E sound. The end of a longer word usually makes the long E sound. Here's our Y in the middle. It's going to sound like an I because those are consonants. So it's going to sound like a short I. I should have said short I. And here's this I. We're going to tap 2. 1, 2. Yes, there is a vowel. Yes, it's going to say its name. So when I pencil read this word, it's I, D, I, M, E. I-dim-me. I-dim-me. Try yours. I'll be quiet while you work. When you pencil read this word, it's I, T, I, M, E. I-timmy. I-timmy. Yeah? Nice. Okay, here's a fun one. I have only one vowel. If you weren't in this class, if you were just a regular Joe on the street, you might think that that word has no vowels in it, but look how much you were learning. You know that Y is a vowel because it's not the first letter. And you also know that it's Greek, even though it's a nonsense word. And you know what that Y is going to say because it's going to act as an I would. So we're going to circle it and we're going to tap 2. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel there. So no, it's not going to say its name. It's going to make the normal short sound for the I. So that word is nip. Nip. Try yours. Yep. V. Make sure that it's not V. Be very careful that you have the pure, clean sound of your V. Don't let any on the end. It's a vibrating sound and it kind of tickles your lip. V, I, and then a voiceless sound at the end. P. Make sure it's not P. It's vip, vip, vip. If you thought that was a V, and if you thought that was a P, then that word would have been something like vipa, a lot harder than it has to be. So it's really important to have the clean, pure, clear, crisp sounds of those letters. And this week I am making a new YouTube video of the shape that your mouth is in when you make each sound in the alphabet and what that correct sound is. So when that's done, I'll drop that in the course for you so you can have that as a resource. Okay, so my number 3. Ooh, this looks like a fun one. I'm such a word nerd, you guys. I just love words. I know that that makes me strange, but it also makes me want to create classes like this. So here is all of the vowels in this word. I know that Y at the end of a longer word is usually going to make the E sound, long E sound. And then I'll start at the beginning and tap 2. Here's a vowel, I'm going to tap 2. 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel. Yes, it says its name. Here's a vowel. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. No, it's not going to say its name, and it acts like an I. Here's another vowel. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. No, it's not going to say its name. It's going to say its regular short sound, it. So when I pencil read this word, I have I, S, I, S, T, I, P, E. I'm going to go slow. Ice, ice, ISIS, ISIST, ISISTE, ISISTIP, ISISTIPI, ISISTIPI. All right, let's try yours. I'll be quiet while you work. I see everybody working hard on this one. It's a doozy. Here's what it's going to sound like. So this I is going to be long because there's a vowel 2 doors down. This I is going to be long because there's a vowel 2 doors down. This I is going to be short because the next 2 letters are consonants. There's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This Y at the end is going to make the long E sound. So when you pencil read it, we have I, O, I, P, I, E. I lie, Pimmy. I lie, Pimmy. I lie, Pimmy. I-O-I, Pimmy. I lie, Pimmy. Okay, please put a word in the chat. Be honest with me. How are you doing? Put a 1-word descriptor in the chat. This is your first time. Hang in there. Hang in there. Don't worry. It's okay. That one was tricky. You're right. So. Okay. The long I sound for the Y. Yeah. Okay, so this one was the hardest one that we've had so far. Let me get my pen back. Because that was actually a long I sound, which doesn't happen very often. And if there were 2 P's there, it would have been a short I sound. But because there's another vowel 1 or 2 words down, it has that I, even though it's a Y, it acts like an I, has to make its long sound. So that's why it's I, lie, Pimmy. That won't happen very often in the real world. Don't worry. Let's try these next 2. So here we have a digraph blend. Here's our digraph next to another consonant. That's called a digraph blend. Thir. And then here's our Y in the middle. There's not another vowel, 1 or 2 doors down, so it's normal, short sound. I. So that word is thrip. Thrip. Good, Adama. Go ahead and say these with me. You're all muted. If you want to work on these on my side, say them out loud so that you can get your tongue used to wrapping around every single sound in the word. Here's another digraph blend. Here's a digraph. I'm going to digress for just a minute and talk to you about the printed word digraph. It's a Greek word. If you'll notice, graph is the base word. Di is the prefix meaning two. See, the Greeks will put the I in a prefix, but they won't put it in the middle. They don't put I's in the middle. Graph means anything to do with writing. So this is two letters that make one sound. Digraph. I just want to show you that Greeks do put I's in a prefix, but not in a root word or a base word. Okay, so here's our digraph, two letters that make one sound. Here's our vowel that's going to make the short I sound because there's not another vowel one or two doors down. So that word is sh, I, strip, strip. That's hard to get that R right after the SH. Strip, strip, kind of like Shrek, but not. Strip, strip. Okay, let's look at some extra practice. Anyone that you want me to go over with you before I send you off to practice these on your own? Go ahead and put one in the chat if you want me. What number would you like me to go over with you? Number 10 it is. Okay. All right. Pencil go. So here's a vowel. Here's a vowel. Here's a vowel. I know that Y at the end of a longer word is usually going to make the long E sound. That's a reading hack. I'm going to go ahead and mark that right now. The rest I'm going to do the tap too. Here's a vowel. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. No, it's not going to say its name. It's going to make its short sound I. Here's a vowel. 1, 2. No, there's not a vowel. Short sound I. Pencil reading, it is. When I pencil read, pay attention, pay really close attention to the sounds that I make for the consonants so that you can learn those clean and clear, pure sounds of the consonants. O, I, R, I, E. One at a time. Full, flip, flim, flimp, flimper, flimprick, flimprick, flimpricky, flimpricky. If you can read flimpricky, you can read almost anything. Well done. I have a request for number 8. Okay, let's do that one too. I'm gonna just make this a little bigger. Should have done that a long time ago. Okay, so we got this I, which I can already see has 2 consonants after it, so it's going to make the short sound for it. Same with this one, 2 consonants after it. It's going to make a short sound. Y at the end of a longer word makes the long E sound. So when I pencil read it, it's P, O, I, S, I, M, P, O, E. Now when I combine them, it has to be all in one breath, like you're singing a song. Don't stop between each sound, or it will be a lot harder. So pretend when you're going to connect all of those sounds together, don't let any breaks come in your breath. Pretend like you're singing the word. So it's simply, simply. Simply. There's not even a medial Y in that one. Okay. Yes, we have 1 minute. So yes, I can do number 7. Here's a medial Y with 2 consonants after it. So it's going to make the short I sound. Y at the end of a longer word makes the long E sound. So here we have, and do it with me. T, I, N, S, T, E. Trinsty. Trinsty. Nice. Trinsty. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you unmute if you have any questions for me.